He was a prophet, a mystic who talked to aliens. He unlocked the spiritual secrets of the Bible and discovered free energy for all mankind, only to have it suppressed by the government. This is the Nikola Tesla you meet online, a modern myth, a scientific saint for a digital age. But this man is a work of fiction. The real Nikola Tesla was infinitely more complex, and his true philosophy is far more fascinating than any conspiracy theory. He wasn't just an inventor, he was a profound thinker wrestling with the biggest questions of existence. God, free will, and humanity's place in the cosmos. What you just saw wasn't from a nature documentary. It wasn't shot by a camera crew on a mountain. It was created entirely from a text prompt by an artificial intelligence. It's a demonstration of how we can now turn words into worlds. Today, we're going to power down the myths and illuminate the man. We'll separate the historical record from the internet hoax. This is the definitive story of Nikola Tesla's real spiritual and philosophical beliefs. And trust me, the truth is more electrifying than the fiction. To understand the man who would later describe humans as self-propelled automatons, you have to start in a place steeped in ancient faith. Nikola Tesla was born in 1856, the son of a Serbian Orthodox priest. His father, Milutin, was a man of words, faith, and discipline. He was adamant that Nikola would follow him into the priesthood. But Nikola had a different inheritance. From his mother, Juka, an unschooled but brilliant inventor of household gadgets, he received the spark of creation. He would later say he owed his inventive instinct entirely to her. This was the first great conflict of his life. The world of the spirit versus the world of the machine. The path of his father or a path of his own. The choice was made for him in the most dramatic way possible. At 17, facing the seminary, Tesla contracted cholera and nearly died. In a moment of desperation, he made a deal with his father. If he survived, he would be sent to engineering school, not the church. He recovered, and he kept his side of the bargain. But this wasn't a simple rejection of spirituality. It was a rejection of dogma. He had spent his youth studying the Bible at his mother's request, and its ethical lessons stayed with him forever. He would later declare, "In my heart I am deeply religious, though not in the orthodox sense of that word." He was charting a new course, trying to find a way to reconcile the moral universe of his father with the mechanical universe he was discovering through science. This internal conflict was amplified by his own mind. From a young age, Tesla experienced intense, vivid hallucinations. He described the air around him as being filled with tongues of living flame and blinding flashes of light. He also suffered from what we would now clearly identify as severe obsessive-compulsive disorder, with compulsions to do things in threes and crippling phobias. But here is the key to Tesla's genius. He didn't see these as madness. He learned to control them. He harnessed this incredible power of visualization to build and test his inventions entirely within his own mind, perfecting them without ever making a sketch. What began as a psychological anomaly became the very engine of his creativity. So, leaving the church and his visions behind, what did the mature Tesla actually believe? He developed a philosophy as radical as his inventions. He saw the entire universe as a single, vast, interconnected machine, and humanity, we were just another part of that machine. He wrote that our sense of being separate individuals is an illusion. He called it a physical fact, that we are all connected by invisible ties, like the stars in the firmament. To make his point, he used a simple analogy. I cut myself in the finger and it pains me. I see a friend hurt and it hurts me too. And now I see stricken down an enemy, and still it grieves me. Does this not prove that each of us is only a part of a whole? This wasn't just a nice thought. It was the core of his life's purpose. For Tesla, the goal of invention wasn't profit. It was to increase the energy and advance the movement of this single human mass. But this is where his philosophy takes a truly radical turn. If we are all one, what does that mean for the individual? For free will? According to Tesla, it doesn't exist. He was a staunch determinist. In his own words, the human being is a self-propelled automaton entirely under the control of external influences. Like a cork tossed on the waves, our thoughts, our desires, our actions, they are not generated from within. They are responses to the infinite stimuli of the cosmos. He even argued that the brain doesn't store memories. He said it was just a receiver, and that knowledge is something akin to an echo that needs a disturbance to be called into being. This perfectly explains how he felt about his own inventive process. Ideas weren't his. They were signals he was tuning into from a universal core. A universe of machines with no free will. It sounds cold, bleak. But for Tesla, it was the opposite. He believed this cosmic machine was profoundly alive. He saw no difference between a rock and a person in their fundamental ability to respond to stimuli. He wrote, "The same law governs all matter. All the universe is alive." This is a form of scientific pantheism. God isn't a being who built the machine. God is the machine. God is the intelligent, living, vibrating order of the cosmos itself, the fundamental laws of physics. And for Tesla, the highest form of worship was to study those laws and harness their power for the good of all humanity. His laboratory was his chapel. His inventions were his prayers. Now that we understand Tesla's real, nuanced worldview, let's turn to the myths. The biggest and most influential is a supposed lost interview from 1899 with a journalist named John Smith. You've probably seen the quotes, "Everything is the light. The universe is a symphony." Beautiful, poetic stuff, and it is a complete and total fabrication. Fact-checkers have traced this text to its source. A 1995 Serbian play called Tesla or the Adaptation of an Angel. The words attributed to Tesla are dialogue written by a playwright. It's a work of fiction. The text itself is full of holes. The 1899 interview has Tesla criticizing Einstein's theory of relativity, which wasn't published until 1915. It mentions black holes, a term that wasn't even coined until the 1960s. There was no journalist John Smith, no magazine called Immortality. It is a modern hoax, pure and simple. This fake interview laid the groundwork for even more outlandish claims. An entire cottage industry of videos and articles now claim Tesla had a secret, late-life conversion to Orthodox Christianity, or that he found secrets of AC power in the Holy Trinity. Let me be clear, there is a complete and total absence of any historical evidence for this. No letters, no diaries, no credible witness accounts. It directly contradicts everything we know he wrote and believed about rejecting religious dogma. These are modern fictions, designed to borrow Tesla's scientific credibility for a specific agenda. But what about the suppressed technology? The missing papers? This myth, at least, is anchored to a kernel of truth. When Tesla died in 1943, in the middle of World War II, the US government did seize his papers. They were worried his designs for a particle beam weapon, a death ray, could fall into enemy hands. His papers were examined by a respected MIT engineer named Dr. John G. Trump. And what did he find? No free energy, no anti-gravity. His declassified report concluded that Tesla's later work was speculative, philosophical, and somewhat promotional, and did not contain any new, sound, workable principles. While some papers did go missing on their way to his nephew in Yugoslavia, the official assessment found none of the world-changing secrets of popular law. A real historical event has been twisted into an unsubstantiated conspiracy. So why? Why has Nikola Tesla become this vessel for so much myth-making? Because his life is the perfect story. He is the archetype of the suppressed genius. A brilliant, eccentric, ascetic visionary who battled the ruthless capitalist Thomas Edison and died in debt and obscurity. He's the ultimate anti-establishment hero, the man who could have saved the world if it weren't for corporate greed. It's an irresistible narrative. More than that, we live in an age that craves scientific profits. We are surrounded by technology, but many of us feel a spiritual void. We want figures who can bridge the gap, who can prove that science and spirit are two sides of the same coin. With his talk of a cosmic religion and his use of Eastern terms like prana and akasha, Tesla fits that role perfectly. But the real Tesla wasn't a secret prophet or a mystic. He was something far more rare. He was a man whose worldview was a true personal synthesis. It was built on the Christian ethics of his youth, which gave him his duty to humanity. It was structured by a mechanistic philosophy that saw the universe as a living machine, and it was articulated with a language that respectfully borrowed from the ancient wisdom of the East. The great irony is that the very philosophical depth that made Tesla so profound has also made him the perfect canvas for claims he would have abhorred. He was a man of science, of evidence, of fact. The next time you see a video claiming to reveal Tesla's final secret, remember the real man. A man who dared not just to invent new machines, but to envision an entirely new cosmos. Tesla's story is a testament to the power of a single visionary mind, but the tools we have today allow us to collaborate with a new kind of intelligence. The AI that helped build this video is not just a novelty, it's a new frontier in creation, capable of executing complex ideas with breathtaking precision. It can generate flawless commercial visuals with perfect typography, a feat once thought impossible. And it can direct entire cinematic scenes, complete with synchronized dialogue, complex camera moves, and a powerful atmosphere, all from a single script. Separating the man from the myth shows us the true source of his genius. And by understanding the tools of today, we can continue to build the future he once only dreamed of.